these five factors. Guru, and then the medicine, and the medicine is the seva and orders of the Guru, and the sadhana practices, and especially the meditation on Krishna. That's the medicine, and then it takes time and get cured. But then we have one more thing. So actually we have 6 things. Because we have vairagya also. We have to practice. Well, that's also there, you could say, and that's there in any disease. So let's say this, because he's saying to control the mind, you need abhyas, and you need vairagya. So that vairagya is also there to control the disease of material desire, or control a material bodily disease, physical disease. You also need detachment, vairagya, because the doctor says you can't eat any fried foods. You have a liver dysfunction, you have jaundice. You can only eat steamed green papaya and occasionally some boiled rice, very watery rice, and lots of sugar candy, rock mystery, or whatever medicine they prescribe. So, but I want to eat. No, you have to be detached. Just like they say, I heard one tape, Prabhupada was saying, if someone has typhoid, disease called typhoid, and he eats pakoras, because he's really mad about pakoras, he has a great attachment to pakoras. The doctor said, don't eat any fried foods, you can't eat any fried foods because you have typhoid. So he's not eating for a few days, but he craves it, because every day he was eating. And he goes on a binge, he's crazy, and he eats like 150 deep fried pakoras. He may die. Prabhupada said on a tape, he may die if you eat the wrong food. Your food may become poison. So this is how strict things are. So this is a very nice purport of Vishwanath. And then he also quotes the Yoga Sutras. So there's no way around it. Potentially he's saying in Yoga Sutras are addressing the Ashtanga Yogis, how they control the mind. So he's saying, what's he saying? Abhyasa vairagabhyam tan nirodha. He said you have to be fixed and no disturbance, nirodha. Nothing should be in the way of these 2 things. Your daily constant practice and detachment. So this is already in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And Krishna is telling the same thing in this Gita Upanishad. Gita is the essence of all the Upanishads. It's like the essence of all Vedic literature. The essence of all the Vedas is the Upanishads. And the essence of the Upanishads is, like for the Advaitins, they'll say Vedanta Sutra. That's the essence. But we say, they say the essence of all the Upanishads is Vedanta Sutra. We say the essence of all the Upanishads is Bhagavad Gita. And that's now commentary. The commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam is a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So the Srimad Bhagavatam was not called a Bhagavad Upanishad. It's called Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Puran. So you follow it? You have all the Vedas, and all that knowledge is condensed into small sutras, or small 1 or 2, 3 words. Anavriti Shabdat. Anavriti Shabdat. Tattvamasi. Sarva Kalvidam Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. These are some of the sutras of Vedanta Sutra. Janmad yasya yataha. Janmad yasya yataha. That's the first part of Vedanta Sutra, chapter 1, verse 1, 111. Very interesting, because it's the Srimad Bhagavatam, first verse opens with that. So why is he saying that? Why is Vyasadeva writing that in the verse 1? Because really the beginning verses of the Bhagavatam are like Mangalacharan in one sense. They glorify the book, they glorify the purpose of the book, they explain what benefits people will get from the book, and also explain who will not get any benefit. Dharma projitakai devotro. The cheaters, they'll get, the envious will get no benefit. So there he's saying in the first verse, he's saying That's the flag. Here's the flag. Oh, red flag goes up. Sometimes in football or something, some sports, the referee raises the flag up, offense or whatever. So it says Janmad Yasya Yataha. So this one line, everything that follows this first line, Ekpada, Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 1, verse 1, line 1. It's called Pada, Ekpada, Charpada, 4 lines of the verse. Janmad Yasya Yataha. All the other padas and all the other lines, totaling 18,000 verses, will explain this one. Janmad Yasya Yataha. This whole Bhagavatam will explain that the Adi Janma, the original source, Janmad Yasya Yataha, Janmad Adi Yasya. So the original source of everything, the source of everything, the beginning, like whatever you want to say, beginning, it's eternal. Janmad, the source of everything is, so Vedanta Sutra, what it's Vedanta Sutra, let's say, the commentaries on Vedanta Sutra called Shariraka Bhashya by the Advaitin Acharya, Shankaracharya, Sripad Shankaracharya. He says that this Janmad Yasya Yataha means Brahman. Everything is Brahman. And the source of everything ends in Brahman, everything comes from Brahman, everything's just a vikar, a transformation of Brahman. So our acharyas, Vyasadeva, this is the natural commentary by the he compiled Vedanta Krit Veda Vedeva Chaham. It's in the 15th chapter of Gita. It says that Vedanta Krit means I wrote down. Vedanta Krit means I wrote it down. Vedanta Krit Vedavid, that Vedavid, I know the Vedas. I'm Vyasadeva, he compiled the Vedas. He's the literary incarnation of Krishna. So he wrote down the Vedas. So now he wrote the Bhagavatam, which is a commentary on the Vedanta, which he also wrote. He wrote Vedanta, then he wrote a commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why we say there's a natural commentary. We don't need to give another. But 500 years ago in Rajasthan, in Galta, right outside of Jaipur, the king was in a dilemma, because the king, he was a very religious king, Jai Singh, Yawat Jai Singh II or second or something. Very religious, and of course very wealthy, being a king. So he was, being very religious, he was patronizing and giving donations and support to different groups. And all these different groups were vying for the favor of the king. Like in the Bhagavatam, the 2 wives of Uttanapad, Saruchi and Suniti. Suniti was one queen, and then there's Saruchi. Saruchi was not so qualified. Suniti is a Rani from birth. And Saruchi was a Vaishya or a Shudra. She was accepted as a wife of King Uttanapad. Saruchi. Well, she was very beautiful. Ruchi means very beautiful, very tasty. So Niti means good behavior, well-behaved, very elegant, well-behaved, perfect conduct. And Suniti is the mother. Suniti is the mother. All these names have meaning, in the Bhagavatam. In the Vedic society, everyone was named according to their characteristics. Yudhisthira, fixed in Yuddha. Yudhisthira, he's fixed. When he's on the battlefield, he can't be moved. And then Duryodhana means he fights in kind of bad ways. Dur means bad. He's like a dirty fighter. When you walk away, he hits you on the head. Like a dirty fighter, a bad fighter. Or you could say ferocious also ferocious. And then Arjuna means fixed. All these names mean something. And all the acharyas in their commentaries, especially Vishnu Chakravarti in his comments on Gita, in the first chapter he mentions those different names. So the Suniti, she was at one time favored by the king, but now she was not in his favor. So Suruchi was getting all the attention. The whole story is there. So in a similar way, the king of Jaipur, 400 years ago, or 300, whatever it was, say 300 or so, Vishnu Chakravarti Baladevi Vibhushan's time, 1700s, about 300 years ago. he was, many religious groups were vying for his attention. So the Ramanandis, they wanted the Vallabhacharya followers, the Ramanandis, 4 or 5, the Shankarites, the Mayavadis. He was giving money to all of them.